Hi, this is Brenda McGillis, and I'm not home right now, but if you'll please leave a message after you hear the beep, I'll call you back.
Hi, Brenda. It's Tina. Listen, I need you to call me right away because it's urgent, and I mean very urgent. Thanks.
Tina?
You scared me. What are you doing here?
Was that Brenda you were leaving a message for?
Yes, and I asked her to call me immediately. So would you please leave? We have absolutely nothing to talk about.
Oh, yes, there is. There's something else that we can discuss.
What are you going to do? You're just going to keep trying to come up with things to try to get me to not talk to Brenda about her baby?
If you will listen, what I have to say will help both of us in the long run.
Thank you. I understand that Michael Grande is in his office. Could you go tell him that Brenda McGillis is here? I'm a friend of his. And I need to talk to him. It's kind of important, okay?
Certainly.
Thank you. Oh, I don't know about this, Dan.
Brenda, you know Michael is a good guy and he loves his son.
And he believes that Garrick is his son.
Well, I'll just have to wait to feel him out to find out. But, you know, I'd really hate to only blame Gabrielle Medina if Grande is in on this.
Yeah, but the more I think about it, the more I realize she's guilty. I mean, every time Gabrielle and I are in the same room together, it's disastrous, especially when Rick is around. And Michael, he's always very happy to have me there with Garrick. My son. God, I
Brenda,
just think
look,
about
we don't know yet that Garrick is your son.
Yeah, but it makes sense, doesn't it? Michael and Alicia's baby dies. Gabrielle switches those children when nobody else is in the nursery because I don't know why.
We haven't found out that quite yet.
Oh, here he comes.
Would someone please tell us what's going on here?
And it had better not be what it looks like.
I'm afraid it is.
But then that means that this woman, that she's...
Yeah, his wife, honey. His long-suffering wife.
Hey, what about the fun years?
Then it's true, Marco? All of this is true?
I got a little carried away. I forgot to tell you about the wife and kids. It's true.
You forgot. How does a man forget about a wife
Very
and 3
easily,
kids?
please. No problem. I will have you arrested.
No, just that isn't necessary.
This is a blatant act of fraud and bigamy, isn't it?
Yes.
Ruby, honey, I'm sure you're going to want to press charges.
She doesn't want to press charges because she never took anything seriously, did you, dear? For you, it was all a lark, wasn't it? Being able to gamble in a casino, running away from goons, even getting married. It was all just a goof.
What am I going to do with you, huh? You gamble away all our money. You get involved with strange women.
How could you do this to me, Marco? You told me that you were the only person that really loved me in this world. You told me that I could trust you. You told me that you loved me. You said that. You said all those things.
Yeah, I know what I said. I lied.
Here's what to do when you don't find the rainbows in this time. Here's where you go when it looks like the rain won't end. Don't cry. I'll give you tomorrow. Let me be the one to share it with. And each day that follows, 'cause we only have one life to live.
How could you do this to me? How could you hurt me like this?
How could I hurt who like that? How could I hurt you? How could I hurt somebody who doesn't exist? How can I hurt somebody who's not real except on TV?
What's the matter with you,
How can I hurt somebody who's not really there?
Because it's the truth and she needs to hear it.
Hurry up, Marco.
Come on, knock it off, will you, please? You understand what I'm trying to say to you? Do you? Oh, I suppose you think maybe now I should apologize. Well, I'm a gambler. I accept the fact that maybe from time to time I do the wrong thing. You win some, you lose some, but I won't apologize, no. You expect me to apologize? I'd never apologize for this. I apologize for the fact that we had to end this way. I prefer to have ended after the honeymoon, you know, after the game was over.
Leave her alone.
But she's not in her right mind.
Megan?
Clint?
Megan.
Where's Viki? Where's my mother? Last time I saw her, she was shot. Is she all right?
Vicky's fine. Vicky's fine. We're all fine.
Marco,
Yeah.
what are all these people doing here? What am I doing here?
These people are the preachers. They're real. These people over here are actors and, excuse me. Are you okay with this? You got paid, right?
Oh, yes, very generously.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sure.
Bye now. Good luck.
Come on, kids.
Out you go.
Carlene?
I don't know, Jonas. Maybe they're all aliens.
If you'll come over here, I'll explain all this stuff to you, too.
Well, who's going to explain this to me?
I'll try and explain it to you. Marco knows a little bit more about it than I do.
Well, what about Dad and Austin?
Austin's dead. The rest of us are fine.
Are you sure that Viki is okay?
Viki is fine. She's very concerned. I mean, she had a dream that you were in trouble.
In trouble? How?
Megan, Viki was shot 3 days ago.
3?
Yeah.
Why don't I remember what happened in the last 3 days?
I think the shock of seeing Austin shoot Viki kind of sent you into a trance, you know, sort of a catatonic state. It was your way of dealing with the horror of seeing what you had seen. And when you came out of it, you came out as Ruby.
What do you mean when I came out of it? Oh, God, Clint. I've been Ruby for the last 3 days. Hey, sit down. Look who came to see us off.
Daryl, how you doing? How dare you come to my house without bringing CJ?
Well, I would have brought him if I was coming from home. Listen, I didn't know y'all were going someplace. Where you headed off to?
Oh, we're going down to Washington, D.C. for a few days. Renee and I decided to honeymoon in the nation's capital.
Oh, well, then maybe what I need to say can wait. But then again, I don't know that it can wait any longer.
What wait, honey?
I've decided I'm going to talk to Rafe, and I'm going to turn myself in for Barry and Austin alive.
You're going to turn yourself in?
Cordero, darling, you can't do that.
Wait a minute, Renee, what are you talking about? You were against this from the start. In fact, you sent me up to the mountain to stop Asa from doing it.
Yes, darling, but you weren't able to stop him, and you ended up helping him.
Austin now is finally dead and buried from causing all that pain. How on earth did you decide to give this family more anguish over him?
I got a lot of reasons for doing this, Asa, but right now the biggest one is guilt.
Guilt?
Asa, darling, I told you how troubled he was over having to help Barry Austin.
Well, so was I. And you know why? Because we didn't bury him deep enough. That snake was able to claw out and hurt Viki, Sarah, and Megan.
All right, now, if you would just listen to my reasons for...
I don't want to hear anything. How could Al Roberts raise such a wimp?
Wimp? Why? Because I believe in the law? Because I got a conscience?
Cordero, darling, he did not mean that.
Hell, I don't.
Asa,
Man, I swear, if you weren't my granddaddy...
You do what? What are you going to do?
Blackmail is not going to work. Cord told me about he and Asa burying Austin. And he's going to go to the police all on his own.
I find that hard to believe.
What? The Cord knows the difference between right and wrong?
Oh, please, Tina. The only reason you know anything about right and wrong is because Cord taught you. What I'd like to know is why his conscience has acted up all of a sudden.
Because we made a promise to one another not to keep any secrets. So he told me about he and Asa burying Austin.
Did you tell him about the baby?
No, but I will as soon as I talk to Brenda.
So there's still time.
Time for what? Do you know what there's time for? There's time for you to go talk to Michael and tell him the truth. Maybe if you do it now, maybe he'll find it in his heart to forgive you.
I don't want to take that risk. Not while there's still a chance of convincing you to keep quiet. Not while there's something I can do to help you get what you want.
I already have what I want. A wonderful husband, a wonderful son, and the love of my family.
And what about money, Tina?
Oh, that's it. You're going to try to bribe me now?
Not exactly. But if you don't tell Brenda that I switched the babies, I can help you get the Crown Jewels of Mendorra.
I saw Melissa at the hospital with Garrick.
Oh, right. He was in for his checkup.
And she mentioned something about a heart murmur. I didn't know about that, Michael.
Apparently it's not serious, but the doctor wants to keep an eye on him. He says that the condition could correct itself. Is that right, Dan?
Oh, yes, it could, Michael.
Oh, good. They told me not to worry, but I am a first-time father.
When did they find out about this condition?
His first doctor visit after we brought him home from the hospital.
Well, you know, I'm surprised that we didn't notice that when he was in the neonatal ICU.
So am I. By the way, what have you been doing with yourself?
Well, I've got this new residency.
Yeah?
Yes, I'm envied by all my friends and colleagues.
Right.
Little disagreement there.
You know, I'm working at Statesville Prison.
Yeah, little disagreement.
Ooh, that has to be rough. I was hoping the hospital would reconsider. I know Brenda doesn't blame you for anything.
I don't, but the chief of staff does.
No matter what, I'll never be able to forgive myself for leaving the nursery.
You had nothing to do with the death of that baby.
She's right, Dan. And personally, I'll always be grateful to you for Garrick's good health. He's come a long way since his traumatic birth. You should stop by with Brenda and see him sometime.
Sure, I'd like that. He's a special child.
Oh, God, he is. He's so terrific. He's got a delicious temperament, easygoing and loving. I miss her terribly, but all I have to do to find her is to look at him. What an absolute joy. Well, getting a little carried away here.
Excuse me, Mr. Grande. The assistant manager would like to speak with you.
Tell him I'll be right there.
Yes, sir.
Well, you go ahead and go. I just wanted to tell you I was concerned about Garrick and his heart murmur.
Well, Brenda, thank you. I appreciate that. Nice to see you both. And do stop by sometime. Garrick adores Brenda.
Well, he's obviously got good taste.
Certainly does. Enjoy your lunch.
He definitely doesn't know anything about the baby. He thinks it's his.
I just can't stand hearing him talk like that. If Garrick is my baby, that is going to kill Michael.
You're right. But what if Gabrielle didn't switch the baby? What if Austin made all this up?
How do you know about the Crown Jewels of Mendorra?
A lot of people know about them.
Well, you've never mentioned it before.
Well, let's say that I decided to look into the legend when you decided our corporation should pick up the tab on your trip to Mendorra.
Look, I was wrong about that, and I will pay for that out of my own pocket, okay?
So did you find any gems?
Not in Mendorra, but in Milan, I did find the opal in an antique shop.
Oh, really? I'd love to see it.
I lost it.
You lost it? How careless of you.
Well, it was in this bracelet I gave to Cord to bring back here, and then some woman stole it, and then she was murdered.
Good heavens.
And then a private eye I hired to find the rest of the jewels, he was killed, so I promised Cord I would stop the search.
Oh, yes. We know what your promises to Cord mean, don't we?
Oh. Tina? Gabrielle.
Viki, how are you?
What are you doing out of bed?
I'm fine, darling. I just came to tell Cook that Roger Gordon is joining me for lunch.
Well, I'll tell her when she gets back, but you should go back and lie down.
Oh, sweetheart, no. It's good for me to move around a bit.
I told Clint I wouldn't let you do too much.
I'm not going to do too much. If I feel tired, I shall lie down and rest, okay? Gabrielle, now, I haven't seen you since... When was it? I remember, since you were supposed to call the security guards at your hotel and have them meet me in the wine cellar where Austin was holding Sarah. How have you been?
Oh, well, actually, very well, thank you, Viki. I'm a little upset that you've told Brenda McGillis that Austin had some insane fantasy that I'm trying to hurt her.
You know something? He didn't sound at all insane when he said that. In fact, that was one of his saner moments. But of course, if there's nothing to it, then there's nothing for you to worry about, right? That's Roger.
Well, you do have some nerve.
And Viki doesn't?
Leave my sister out of it.
With pleasure. Now, we were talking about the 4 jewels that you need to get your hands on in order to become the richest woman in the world.
That has nothing to do with your secret.
Yes, it does. Because I can help you find the missing emerald.
I'm fine. Truly, I am fine. I'm going to sit down right over here. In fact, you can watch me sit down and see what a good sitter-downer I am. Ah, it's a little hard. There. There, that make you feel better?
Yes, it does.
Good.
Now, have you heard from Megan?
No, I haven't.
Oh, when I got your message, I was hoping I had good news.
Well, I do have good news, sort of in a way. You see, Clint has received some sort of a lead as to where Megan is.
He did?
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. Where is she?
I don't know. He wouldn't tell me. In fact, he wouldn't tell me much of anything in case nothing came of it. So he left early this morning, and I've just been sitting here all day waiting for the phone to ring.
Wait a minute. I don't understand. Why didn't he call me? I'm her father, damn it. I should be checking out leads, or at least I should be with him checking out leads.
Well, please, don't be angry with Clint. He really is only trying to help, and I expect that the only reason he didn't tell you was the reason he didn't tell me, in case nothing pans out.
I don't buy that, Viki. Now, didn't he leave a clue where he was or how Megan was?
No. None, I'm afraid. I've just been sitting here praying that I've been wrong, and that my dream was wrong, and that Megan is Megan, not Ruby Bright.
And then Marco called me. He told me what was about to happen, and so we kind of cooked up this little scheme to try and shock you out of being Ruby.
You saw the wife and the 3 kids and you flipped, I guess, huh?
I don't understand how these 2 events made me change personalities.
Well, I think maybe it was your sense of loss, of abandonment, you know, that created the original episode.
What, so you think that I thought that Viki was dead when Austin shot her? And that was just like losing her when I was a small child?
Exactly. Look, I'm going to find a telephone, and I'm going to call Viki. I'll be right back.
I don't understand how losing you caused me to change.
I was the only one that Ruby had. The rest of the world was hostile. Ruby knew that I loved her, so she trusted me. And when I broke that trust, it hurt you, didn't it? Well, it hurt me.
Just wait a minute, Marco. What did you do to get Ruby to marry you? What was going through that sick little mind of yours?
You sit down, girl. I want to talk to you. Don't you play this game with me. We're in this room alone now. Don't you pretend with me that you don't remember everything that was going on.
I don't.
Don't you pretend with me that you don't remember begging me to take you out of that hospital room and bring you to that casino in Atlantic City. Don't pretend that you didn't beg me to acknowledge that you were Ruby Bright in that room. You were furious. You threatened to get up and leave that hotel room. You threatened to leave that hospital room unless I acknowledged that you were Ruby Bright. So sure. So naturally, I decide, yeah, you're Ruby Bright. I'll give you that much because I'm the only person that knows you. You know that. I know that. I'm the only person that knows Ruby Bright. Now, I thought you decided to give up this Megan stuff, all right? And I thought that's what you wanted.
I don't know. I'm confused.
That's why I decided to marry you. I decided to marry you so that I could protect you legally as Ruby.
So you were doing this all for me? There was none of anything in this for you?
Don't play that! You know this is not about that! Don't do that to me! could have had a beautiful life together. We would have had a beautiful life together. We would have had that yacht. We would be on that Caribbean island. I know you. I know Ruby Bright. And I know you let yourself become her. That's all.
Marco, I just found out that I am mentally ill, and you're making it seem like it's
Don't play that game with me. It isn't about that. I know that. Go ahead. You want to pretend you're traumatized? Go ahead. You want to pretend you got carried away? Go ahead. But I know what it's about. So do you. You want to live happily ever after for a little while. Hey. So did I.
So what changed it? What changed your mind?
You're singing. And Madame Irma.
My singing.
Yeah, you're singing. When we were doing that routine over there and that amateur night thing, I could see that this was going to be over soon. I could see that Megan Gordon was winning out.
And Madame Irma?
Well, that's not the point. You know, I could feel I was losing you. You never once told me you loved me. You had so many chances. But you were holding back. You did. At one point, you did tell me you loved me, but by then, it was already too late.
I just feel like I'm in the middle of this movie, and I've been sound asleep. I don't know.
Well, it was pretty exciting there for a while. I mean, you know, going up to the prison and getting packages and being chased by goons and stuff. Ruby Bright's a pretty exotic kind of gal. Oh, gee, I'm sorry. You don't want me to make jokes like that anymore, right? Okay. I think I ought to just, take off.
No, what, you're not saying goodbye, are you?
I didn't use that word.
Marco, I need you. You're my friend.
Well, you know, it's a little difficult to go from fiancé to best friend in the span of 5 minutes, so if you don't mind, I'll just send you some postcards from time to time, and
yeah,
I'll let you know where I am. If you and Max ever split up, you can,
Yeah. Thank you.
I don't know for the life of me why it is you feel you have to go back to that.
Oh, boy, there's a couple happy people over at my house. Your mother and father are delighted. They are ecstatic that I found you and I'm bringing you home.
What did you tell them, Clint?
Just that I found you.
You didn't tell them that I had turned into Ruby Bright, did you?
No, not yet.
Good. Where's Marco? Marco? Marco?
Now, I want you to stop this right now. I will not have it. Now, I know how much you two love each other.
That is beside the point, Renee.
Asa, it is not. Asa and I are not honeymooning in D.C.
Damn it, Renee!
Asa, I'm going to tell him. He's checking himself into Harley Memorial so that he can have tests on his heart.
What? Asa? Look, please, don't concern yourself about me, boy. I'm fine. The cardiologist wanted to do a checkup. Unfortunately, Renee here heard about it, so I have to take the damn test.
Yes, but the point is he's not supposed to be upset right now.
Yeah, great. And I come storming over here, get you all riled up. Listen, I am sorry.
Does that mean you're going to end this nonsense of going to Rafe and tell him we buried Austin?
If I don't do it, somebody else will. Gabrielle Medina is the one who told Tina about this thing in the first place. She's threatening going to the police.
That's what this is all about? Forget Gabrielle Medina. She's not going to tell anybody anything.
How could you be so sure of that?
She came to me and threatened to blackmail me to the tune of 50 grand to keep that secret. I threw her out of my house.
When did this happen? What's going on here?
Well, while Austin was hiding in the wine cellar at the Llanview Grande, she said he demanded money and would seriously harm Michael Grande and his son.
Do the police know that you was hiding out Austin?
No, they don't. And it's only because Austin killed Michael's wife, Bo and everyone else felt that we didn't want to do anything that would cause Gabrielle any kind of trouble. She is taking care of Michael's son, and that baby needs a woman around.
Cord, if she goes to the police, they will nail her for not coming forward when she witnessed the burial.
The emerald? That's right. And it's too bad that you lost the opal, because then you'd have 2 out of the 4 that you need to inherit the fortune.
Oh, you must really think I'm stupid or something. I know what's going to go on here. You're going to keep saying, oh, I've got the emerald, I've got this. You're going to put it off and put it off. And all the meantime, Brenda is being strung along.
Tina, I have it with me.
How'd you get your hands on it?
Well, I didn't. Michael did. He's been looking for the gems for a few years, and the reason no one can find the emerald is because it's been in his safe.
You're bluffing. I know when you're bluffing. So why don't you just go home and you tell Michael that his son is the one that died?
Why don't you check for yourself?
Well, let me tell you something, Cord. No one, even someone as decent as you, is not going to go through life without regret or guilt. And let's hope this secret is the only burden that you're ever going to have to bear.
Honey, I agree with you, Grandpa. I mean, a trial around Austin right now would traumatize this family. Sarah's just beginning to sleep again. She's getting so she can be really close to Bo. Honey, if she has to relive her horrors publicly, I don't know what it's going to do to her.
Now, is that an affirmative nod?
It means I need to think about this. I said, do you think that I can raise my son as an honorable man with something like this going around over and over in my mind and in my heart?
Yes, Cordero. Yes, I do. Because you are an honorable man. Austin was evil. You got some sin you cannot wash off your hands. But believe me, it did not pollute your soul.
It can't, honey. You're too good a man. Oh, my Lord, look what time it is. Darling, maybe we should call Dave and tell him we'll be to the airport a little later.
Please, I don't want to be holding you up. Yeah.
Well, we're not going to be gone too long, and keep a lid on this, okay?
He said, don't worry about anything, all right? I want you to do what the doctor says. Just listen to him, okay?
Oh, he will. I'm going to be there. Can I walk you to the door, honey?
Yeah.
I will see you, son.
Thanks. Take it easy.
Cord, there's another argument why you shouldn't go to the police.
What are you talking about? Ace's heart condition?
Exactly. I mean, if things turned around and Asa went to jail, I don't think that he'd come out alive.
How much do you think it's worth?
Oh, I couldn't even guess. But put with the ruby and the opal and the diamond, I'd say it's a king's ransom in Mendorra. Well, I think that's enough. Until you promise to keep our secret.
Oh, what are you going to do? Just steal this from Michael and give it to me?
No, I will make certain that you and Michael work together to get the rest of the jewels and share the fortune 50-50. Well?
I can't. I can't live with this secret anymore.
What do you mean? What about the jewels? What about the fortune?
I put myself in Brenda's position, and all the money in the world wouldn't make any difference if I couldn't have my son.
Oh, Tina.
No, it's just really awful what you've done, and I just can't put up with it anymore.
You're unbelievable. You're the one who used my son, saying that he was your son with Cord. It's not as though you don't have any experience.
At least I learned from my mistakes.
Now where are you going?
I'm getting away from you. If you won't leave my kitchen, fine. I will.
Tina, I'm begging you. Not only will this destroy me, but it's bound to destroy Michael. He'll commit suicide if you take his son away from him.
Well, you should have thought about that before you did it. Now leave me alone.
Brenda, everything seems to be piecing together. But I have these two questions.
What?
How was Austin in a position to see Gabrielle do anything to those babies? I mean, how... there's no reason for the man to be even near the nursery.
Well, he was there because I talked to him. He didn't try to kill Alicia. He wanted to kill Michael. And he felt guilty about leaving a baby motherless, and so he was there at that window looking at those children.
Well, you never told me you saw him.
Well, I did see him there, and obviously he came back later. In time to see Gabrielle take my baby and put it in Garrick's bassinet. That's why she hid him out in the wine cellar, Dan, not because she was afraid that he was going to hurt Michael or Garrick.
So if Austin turned her in, she would turn him in?
That's right.
Okay, next question. Very important.
Okay.
Motive. What was it? I mean, was she so in love with Michael Grande that she would do anything?
No, I think that baby was her way into his life. I mean, without that child, she'd have no place in that house. Now, I don't know if that's what she was thinking of when she switched those children, but I think that has a lot to do with it now, Dan.
All right. Now, there's only one thing missing.
Oh, what?
Proof.
I know how we can get that.
Well, did you find Marco?
No.
You're kind of fond of him, aren't you?
Yeah. That's not the only reason that I wanted to talk to him. I want to find out everything about how I was when I was Ruby Bright.
Maybe it's best that you don't know.
Clint, what am I going to tell my father and Viki and Max? I don't even know how I'm going to act.
Why don't we take it one step at a time?
How? What if Ruby Bright comes back?
There is absolutely no reason to think that Ruby is going to come back, honey.
That's not true. Now, Viki had several episodes with Nikki Smith. Now, I'm her daughter. I could have the same problem.
Not necessarily. Look, I think the best thing for you to do is to talk it over with Viki.
No, I don't want her to know. I just don't want her to know, please.
You can't mean that.
I do mean that. I don't want Viki or my father, Sarah, Max, no one.
Megan, that doesn't make sense.
It does make sense. It does. I don't want people treating me like I'm some sort of mentally ill person.
People who love you aren't going to treat you like that.
That's not true. They'll send me off to a shrink, and if Ruby Bright comes back, I know they're just going to pack me away.
Oh, honey, nobody's going to pack you away.
And what about my public? Clint, what's going to happen to my career? Think about that.
Now, wait a minute. Your imagination is running away with you. You don't even know that much about your condition.
Yes, I do, and I understand it. I know that I have to make sure that I don't get into situations in which I feel abandoned. I realize I have to avoid confrontations and stress. Clint, if you tell my family and my friends, I will be under more stress than you can imagine.
You're not being logical.
I know, but please.
Not even Viki?
No. Not Viki or Dad. Just until I have enough time to pull myself together. I need some time to think.
Okay. For now, we'll keep it between us.
Thank you.
Ready to go home?
Yeah, listen, could we stop at the Waterside Inn? I don't want Dad and Viki to see me like this. And Max, is he worried about me?
Max thinks you're fine. He's still in Boston with Al. Al's getting better, by the way.
Oh, good. I can't believe that I was a completely different person, and I don't even remember this.
Hi, honey.
Oh, hi, there you are. Oh, ew, I was getting worried about you. I thought maybe you were in jail. I missed.
Yeah, I can see. I went up for a walk up by the new house after I talked to Asa and Renee. I need to do some thinking, honey. I've decided that I'm not going to go to the cops and turn myself in.
Why not? What changed your mind?
Asa and Renee, they told me that a lot of people could get into trouble, including you and CJ, if I go through with it. Also, it turns out that our friend Gabrielle has been busy. She threatened to blackmail Asa. He called her bluff, and she backed down. It seems that she's got something that she doesn't want the police to find out. Asa thinks he knows what it is.
What?
Apparently, she was hiding Austin in Michael Grande's wine cellar for a time. The police don't know about that, so now we've got something on her, so I guess the Buchanan family is safe from her. This is all turning very pretty.
I see. Well, I'm real happy you're not going to be going to jail.
Yeah, looks like you're going to be stuck with me for a while longer, huh? So, what about this little confession of yours?
My what?
Well, you said that you had lied to me about something and you were going to straighten something out and then you were going to tell me. Gabrielle.
Michael, what are you doing here?
What is it? Oh, God, has something happened to Gary?
No, he's upstairs asleep. He's... Oh, Michael, oh, Michael.
Gabrielle, tell me, what's the matter?
Roger, you're going to wear a very expensive hole in that carpet.
Yeah, well, I don't know why I feel so fidgety. I mean, I know Megan's safe. I know that she and Clint are on their way here.
Well, they're taking a bit of time, I realize. They probably just stopped to get something to eat. I tell you, I have never in my life felt so relieved.
You really mean that? You mean you really don't have any questions about whether or not she turned into Ruby?
No. I assume it didn't happen because Clint didn't mention it. Why? Are you worried about it?
No, not really. I'm just concerned about her behavior.
We both know that Megan is apt to turn away from unpleasantness. Remember how she acted when she found out I was her mother?
Yes, but this is very, very rude. The whole time you were in the hospital, she only called once.
Oh, Roger, don't be too hard on her. She's been through a very rough time recently. Maybe she really just needed to stick her toes in the surf at Atlantic City.
Yeah, well, that's what we tried to tell you, remember? And you'd had none of it.
Please don't be annoyed with me now, all right? This is the first upbeat thought I've had about Megan since the hospital. Of course it went through my mind that Clint said so very little to me on the phone about Megan because he was trying to protect me. No, I do believe if Megan had become Ruby Bright, he would have told me on the phone. I mean, my God, he would have had to prepare us for when he brought her home, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I guess you just have to face it, Viki. You have a daughter who is quite capable of being thoughtless toward the people who love her.
Quite frankly, I hope that that's the case. Isn't that funny? Hoping for a thoughtless daughter.
Thank you. Brenda, I agree. A good way to prove that Rick is your son is with medical records.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one problem. Neither of us work at Llanview Hospital anymore.
We're gonna have to tell Larry. Now, he's the only one that's gonna be able to help us on this, Dan.
Brenda.
Yeah, I know, but we have to. I mean, he's the only one that can get those blood types.
Believe me, you're going to get a lot of resistance from my father.
Why? Even with all the evidence that we... Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's gonna think that this is crazy, that this is too mean, even for Gabrielle. He thinks I'm obsessed with Garrick as it is.
Look. Just have your answers prepared, okay?
Okay.
Relax and don't get worked up.
I won't. I can handle this. I'll just keep asking him to do this until he just gets so sick of it that he does it for me, okay? But you know, the thing is that those blood types, sometimes that's inconclusive, isn't it?
Well, sometimes, but we'll worry about that once we get the medical records.
Yeah, you're right.
Now, just to make sure that we do get them, I think it's a good idea that we don't tell Dad what we've been talking about today. He wouldn't like that either.
No, he'll think that I should have come to him first. I should have been able to, shouldn't I?
Well, what is it, girl? I'm listening.
I'm going to tell you. I am. I just don't want you to yell at me.
Honey, what did you do?
And you know that trip to Mendorra? See, I charged it to the Grand Corporation, and, well, Gabrielle found out about it, and she was furious because it wasn't company business.
Well, it wasn't.
Yeah, I know it wasn't, and, I'm gonna reimburse them out of my own pocket.
Well, that sounds fair. Honey, is that it? That's all?
Of course that's it. I mean, how many lives do you think I'd have going at one time?
Just checking, all right? Listen, I'll tell you what, how about if I bring CJ his little snack, and then you can call Gabrielle, and you can tell her that you're going to pay her back for the ticket, and that will be the end of it, okay?
That's a very good idea. I will call her right now.
Good. Don't be long, huh?
Yeah.
Ooh, hope he's hungry.
I knew this day was going to come. No matter how hard I tried to keep it away, no matter how much I prayed it away, it was going to come.
What do you mean it was going to come?
Michael, I couldn't help myself. I thought it was so right when everything was going so wrong.
What are you talking about?
Oh, please. To find my own way into this, I have to be the one to tell you. I want you to try and remember my reasons for doing this so that when you hear the truth,
Look, whatever it is...
No, I don't want you to ask that. What I have to tell you is so much more important than that phone call could ever